Coffee and Headlines is brought to you by the generous support of our viewers and the following community partners: Best Cord Cutting TV, Bravo's Restaurant Bar, El Rey Lounge de Versalles, Joint Boutique Hotel and Cowork, Monson Brewing Company, Puerto Vallarta Neurofeedback, Puerto Vallarta Owners Reps, Oculto, and Siam Cocina Thai. Thank you for your support, and thank you for supporting our community partners. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our morning get together live here on Facebook, where we unpack the drama of criminal captures. Things got dicey yesterday near the Maritime Terminal, and we are going to unpack all that, even though it's not our line to get into the drama of crime and criminals and capturing people, but it it happened in broad daylight, and I'm sure you've heard all about it, and I'm sure you want all the tea. So I've gathered all the tea so we can understand what exactly took place yesterday by the Maritime Terminal. We have so much news today; it's not even funny, and all kinds of good news, and and I'm just happy to be here with you. I hope you're having a good Wednesday. It is Wednesday, February 19, and we're going to get started with our broadcast by, as always, inviting you to comment with a capital letter Q if you want your comment to stand out, and to comment with a capital letter N if you are new and would appreciate a little friendly welcome. Let's cut to the chase, no pun intended. Mexican and U.S. authorities collaborated in the capture of two alleged criminals that face an extradition process as part of the bilateral coordination between Mexico and the United States in the fight against transnational crime. Authorities arrested a foreign couple wanted for fentanyl trafficking and possession of firearms. The incident took place right next to the Banjercito, or Army Bank, located next to the Maritime Terminal. Following their arrest, both were informed of their constitutional rights and placed at the disposal of the public prosecutor's office, which will determine their legal situation and carry out the corresponding procedures for their extradition. Tómala. But it wasn't easy. You see, Puerto Vallarta's municipal office almost botched the whole operation. Since the operation was undercover, the officers were dressed as civilians, which made nearby or surrounding citizens who witnessed how they put the criminals in a vehicle, a blue Nissan Versa, from Michoacan, no less. People nearby thought it was a kidnapping, so they called the Puerto Vallarta Municipal Police. And of course, the Puerto Vallarta Municipal Police did not get a memo for the operation. So when the municipal agents arrived, they attempted to stop and search the car and its passengers, managing to detect them near the Marina Los Peines, where they were asked to stop and identify themselves. Obviously, the undercover officers did not do it initially. And apparently they did not identify themselves properly either, because the police distrusted them and demanded more firmly that they stop. So this lack of coordination and communication between the different security institutions of the three levels of government only hindered the arrest of the criminals and generated chaos in Puerto Vallarta. There was traffic congestion. A patrol car crashed into the vehicle where the undercover policemen were doing their work. And there was general confusion among authorities and civilians. And it seems like the National Attorney's Office, the National Guard, and the Navy were aware of the operation, but they did not send a memo to Puerto Vallarta's security department, which is what detonated that things did not quite go as planned, But the bottom line is the criminals have been captured. There's plenty of video out there. I'm sure you can find it if you're curious. It was like a movie set, and it happened in broad daylight. But, you know, it happens. What can I say? Moving right along, Cepal has announced water shortages today, starting at 9 a.m. and ending at 8 a.m. The shortage will affect the following neighborhoods: Fobiste 100, Marina Vallarta, Guadalupe Victoria, La Floresta, Las Gaviotas, Las Juntas, Mojoneras, Sendero de Luna, Vallarta Villas, Versalles, and Villa Las Flores. If we mentioned your colonia, be mindful that you may not have a lot of water today, but service will be reinstated by 8 p.m. And I have a trio of great news regarding local improvements. The first one is Puerto Vallarta is investing nearly 13 million pesos to revitalize the Palmares Beach Observation Walkway, enhancing its accessibility and appeal. This project aims to improve the area's infrastructure, making it more accessible and enjoyable for visitors. And in case you haven't been there, it is a scenic beach located south of Puerto Vallarta. There's a small eatery. I've never been there, but I've heard it's really good. And it's a beach that is very popular among locals. It's right on the highway, so you cannot miss it if you're heading south. It is called Playa Palmares or Palmares Beach. The second improvement is now in chaos mode. It has to do with all the work being done near the Las Juntas intersection to properly connect the new Guadalajara Highway with Francisco Medina Asensio Avenue and the new airport terminal currently under construction. Of course, this involves at least 10 individual projects, which include overpasses and tree removal and lateral constructions and much more. It is great news. However, as often is the case with projects in progress, there will be traffic-related headaches until it is all completed. As an aside, just yesterday, there was big news that the construction company failed to notify anyone and arbitrarily blocked one entire lane from Medina Asensio Avenue, resulting in all kinds of delays. So don't expect that everybody's talking to whomever they need to be talking to make our lives simpler. The bottom line is, if within the next few weeks or even months, you have to go through or around Las Juntas, which is near the airport, which is near the bus terminal, if you have to go through that general area, be mindful that it is a bit chaotic and you want to plan enough time so you can get to your destination on schedule, particularly if you're flying out or if you're taking a bus. Moving right along, the third announcement seems really awesome. Look at this photograph of the Malecón. The Malecón is sporting a new image thanks to an investment by Munguia's government, Mayor Munguia's government, of over 1 million pesos. This renovation included replacing 35 traditional streetlights with LED technology, improving not only the lighting of the area, but also contributing to the sustainability and energy efficiency of the destination. I have a selfish, illogical wish that I'm going to share with you. It's petty, but hey, it's my broadcast. What can I say? You know, when you go out and buy LED lights, you can buy the really bright white ones, which are really bright and really white, or you can go buy the slightly warmer lights, which is what I personally prefer. Um, I haven't walked the Malecón at night. I'm looking forward to doing it this Friday, and I'll give you details on that in a bit. But I truly, truly hope that the new lighting on the Malecón is warm white and not that hospital-looking clinical bright white that sometimes restaurants use, and it's just gaudy. But that's just my little opinion. Moving right along. Another flight will arrive from the west of the country as part of Volaris Airlines' expansion plan for 2025. Puerto Vallarta will increase its connectivity with a new flight from the city of Morelia, Michoacan, which will bring new visitors by air from a consolidated market in the west of the country. Conversely, a direct flight from Puerto Vallarta to Michoacan gives us direct access to another beautiful city in Mexico. The new flight will be operated starting this summer on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. And this brings us to the end of our first block. So let's move on to the weather.
For over 60 years, one name has defined style, intrigue, and unforgettable music. From the first notes of Dr. No to the chart-topping theme songs that followed, the James Bond franchise has left a lasting mark on film history. But how did it all begin? And what makes the Bond sound so iconic? Join your host, Paco Ojeda, for Shaken, Not Stirred, iconic James Bond film scores and songs. Thrilling music appreciation presentation uncovering the stories behind 007's legendary sound. As usual, we will meet at the Joint Boutique Hotel and Co-work. The date, February 20 at 5 p.m. Tickets available at the hotel's front desk. Advanced purchase recommended. You don't need to be a Bond fan to enjoy this one. But by the end, you just might be.
And not because I'm doing it, but Bond is going to be awesome. It's going to be a kick-ass music appreciation presentation. And because I just noticed that Daniel House is in the house, Daniel, don't go away because today we're talking about you in a little while. But first, the weather. I've hijacked your country's solar panels to power my nightlight, says snarky weatherman. Whatever. It is 23 degrees out there. Humidity is at 73%. And our weather forecast for today says we're going to have clear skies in the morning with mostly cloudy skies in the afternoon with a high of 26 and a low of 16. Tomorrow, Thursday, will be a humid day with mostly cloudy skies throughout the day. Perfect James Bond weather, if you ask me. A high of 26 and a low of 17. And then on Friday, we can expect mostly cloudy skies in the morning with mostly clear skies in the afternoon, a high of 27 and a low of 17. Moving right along, let's see, what did we schedule first? Yes, if you're looking for plans for this Friday evening, I have you covered with 3 options for your consideration. This first one, I know very little about it. But the title, spoken word, and the description caught my attention. Being a storyteller or loving storytelling, the description says, step into a space where words come alive, hearts speak, and creativity takes center stage. Spoken word is more than just an event. It is a celebration of the power of the spoken word through sharing your poems, creative writing, and or sharing words that resonate with you. This sounds like something I would enjoy. I don't know that I'll be able to go to it because I have other plans, but it is so nice to see that there's somebody out there promoting storytelling and the spoken word. I love it. And of course, this brings us to our second announcement, which is that Friday night is opening night for writer and storyteller Jamie Brickhouse's Dangerous When Wet, Booze, Sex, and My Mother. I'll have a chance to record a spotlight interview with Jamie this afternoon at the Joints Cafe Rio at 4 o'clock. In case you wish to stop by, if all goes well, we will air highlights from the interview tomorrow morning. And of course, there will be other performances on Saturday, February 22nd, Thursday, February 27th, Friday, February 28th. I'm going to be there on opening night, so I'm going to be able to tell you all about it. And as long as we're talking about the spotlight, just a quick reminder, we will not go live this afternoon. We're going to try something slightly different. We're going to only tape the interviews for this afternoon, and we're going to be airing them in the next few days. We're going to see how that goes. You seemed very happy to see spotlight interviews featured here. So what I'm thinking or how I'm thinking it'll go is when I do the interviews, we will focus on the really, really important stuff at the beginning of the interview. And those are the segments that we will broadcast here uh, on Coffee and Headlines. And then if you want to find out more about the interviewee, we will dive into the rest of the interview, and the complete package will be available on YouTube as spotlight interviews have been so far. So we'll see how this goes, and we'll take it from there. And then, of course, there seems to be renewed interest in the late sculptor Gloria Ellis and her work now that the family has donated one of her sculptures to adorn our Malecón. So there will be an opening reception featuring some of her work at Galeria Contempo also on Friday. This will be from 6 to 9. So for me, it'll be a great adventure to go to the opening of the storytelling show and then find my way around some of Emiliano Zapata and then take a look at the new lighting on the Malecón. I'm looking forward to all of that. And I also want to mention that this totally warms my heart. It warmed my heart to learn that my dear friend, cluster member, and technology guardian angel Daniel House donated podcasting equipment to the Vallarta Gay Community Center. Daniel, I think you're awesome, and it is a pleasure and a privilege to be your friend. I am so glad every time I find out about cluster members doing fun and wonderful, awesome, heartwarming things in our city. If you have stories to share, please let me know, because we want to showcase all the good vibes that you spread around. And speaking of good vibes, well, this has nothing to do with good vibes, but when was it? Monday. I had to go to the bank to get a new ATM card because mine expired. And on the way back, I was hungry and I figured, what am I going to eat today? And I remembered this very sweet spot in Versalles that serves comida corrida. Now, if you've ever been out and about around lunchtime, you may have come across restaurants that offer comida corrida, a term that roughly translates to running meal, but is better understood as an affordable home-style set lunch. A comida corrida typically includes a starter, which is often a simple soup or a salad. Then there's a main dish, often accompanied with rice, beans, or other sides. A beverage, which is usually an agua fresca or flavored water, and a small dessert or coffee. Now, the tradition of comida corrida places dates back to the 19th century when inns or fondas began serving quick homemade meals to workers and travelers. Today, comida corrida is a staple of small family-run restaurants, which we call fondas or cocinas económicas, offering delicious, no-frills meals at very reasonable prices. But I think the major draw is that it gives anyone a chance to enjoy a hearty meal without breaking the bank and really having more of a made at home flavor than going to a restaurant. So it's the closest from to eating at a person's home. And we have plenty of these, and I'm going to talk about one of my favorite ones today. It is this one, Rosa Mexicano. It is so unassuming. You probably have walked past it a million times. It is located directly across from El Rey Lounge de Versalles. And as is traditional in these places, their daily menu is often available at the entrance. As you can see from this one, the meal costs 110 pesos. That's roughly $5. And on this particular day, there was a carrot cream of carrot and a pasta soup for first course. And then you were given a choice of chiles rellenos or meatballs or ribs or chicken and mole, or ribs in green sauce, or machaca, or chicharrón in green sauce. I mean, you get all these choices. So it's not like a buffet where you can just continue eating, but you are giving a variety of choices for whatever you feel like eating. Now, back to this particular place, it looks totally unassuming from the outside. And when you peek in, the only thing you can see is a working kitchen. So you might be inclined to dismiss this place, but you walk through the kitchen and then you enter this modest but very comfortable room in the back. I must mention that the first time I went here was in the summertime, and I was so surprised to find that this back area was air conditioned. So it was absolutely comfortable. So, what did I have 2 days ago? Well, I started with the cream of carrot. And of course, I asked for a large agua de Jamaica, which was not included in the 110 pesos, but that's okay. My bill was less than 160 pesos, including the agua. So I started with with this cream of carrot, and even though there were so many yummy things on the menu, as soon as I saw machaca, I figured I have to have it. And of course, it came with delicious refried beans and rice and a bunch of tortillas to make tacos. So the meal was absolutely delicious. And again, there are a number of places around town that serve comida corrida. This one happens to be near my home. And if you're ever in the Versalles area and you want a comfortable, budget friendly lunch and you want the flavor of Mexican homemade cuisine, you should try a comida corrida venue at some point. And of course, these are usually open during the daytime. I must say that if you're looking for something more sophisticated or for a different vibe during the evening, and since I told you that this place is located right across the street from El Rey Lounge de Versalles, I was so happy to run into this post on Facebook by El Rey Lounge de Versalles featuring their food menu. Of course, we know that El Rey Lounge is an evening place. So here you can enjoy awesome cocktails. But look at all these courses. They have chili and cornbread, burnt end pork belly bites, a wedge salad, pulled pork street tacos, pulled pork sliders. I mean, there's all kinds of different things that you can enjoy at El Rey Lounge. And this is a place that we have very much enjoyed in the past. So it is something that we are going to definitely try sometime in the near future. So let's see now what you're up to. Maybe you can recommend some comida corrida places that you've checked out. I know of several in the city, and I would be happy to continue exploring them. Just mentions comida corrida or affordable or yum yum or whatever sign in your comments that will give me an indication that you are intrigued.
Are you looking to give back but not sure where to start? Hands on Vallarta is your chance to meet local nonprofits and find the perfect volunteer opportunity just for you. Join us Saturday, March 22nd from 12 to 3 p.m. at Joint Boutique Hotel and Co-work. It's free. And if you're an organization looking for volunteers, we'd love to have you. Just scan the QR code to learn more, and let's make a difference together.
And as long as we're talking about hands-on Vallarta, let me give you a quick update before we get into your comments. We're still receiving applications. We're also receiving a lot of questions. There are agencies that are concerned about their legal status out there, whether they can participate or not participate, if they are incorporated as a nonprofit or not in Mexico. And I need to tell you this. Angela and I, the organizers, we're not nonprofit police. In fact, let me give you a specific scenario because we had this conversation. We, of course, want to make sure that we're dealing with organizations that are behaving responsibly. Who wouldn't? But let's imagine that you have a group in your neighborhood that just walks each other's dogs. Maybe you're not a big organization, maybe you're not listed as an official nonprofit, but you require volunteers. If that fits your bill, of course, you are more than welcome to participate. The only legal requirement for anybody, for any organization to participate in Hands on Vallarta is if you are planning on selling something. We're allowing organizations to sell one type of item, like t shirts, for example, but you must show that you are registered with Mexico's IRS or Hacienda to sell goods. So, other than that, any organization, large or small, is welcome to join us. We have space for 12 organizations. We have so far received 7 applications. So, if you know of a great pursuit out there that is looking for volunteers, we are hoping to create this connection. So, we get that question a lot. I just wanted to put that out there. And with that said, let us go back to your comments and see what you are. Oh my God. The first comment that I read comes from Carmen. Carmen, I was just thinking about you this morning because I was savoring the food that I tasted yesterday at, not yesterday, 2 days ago at Rosa Mexicano. And I thought to myself, I bet Carmen must know some amazing cenadurias in town. So one of these days, Carmen, let's book a spotlight and talk about great off the beaten path eateries. You are such a big lover of Mexican cuisine, and I'm sure we would come up with a great interview or conversation together. Let's make this happen, especially if other people would like to hear about this. Everybody, if you're interested in this kind of content, just write Carmen in your comment, and Carmen and I will be so very happy to schedule it. And now let me scroll the comment tape just to see what's going on. Lots of good mornings, and I appreciate that very much. Betsy, I really hope to see you tomorrow at James Bond presentation. It will be sexy, bordering on slutty. It'll be a lot of fun. Because that's what James Bond is, sexy and slutty. Well, not slutty, but you know the drift. Let's see. So much disinformation swirling around regarding that incident yesterday and spreads like wildfire. The jungle drums were drumming for sure, says Logan. Well, this is what I read from a reliable source. My sources for this morning were Tribuna de la Bahía and, Tribuna de la Bahía primarily. So that's what we learned, and hopefully that's what it was. Let's see. Oh, what a great wish. Happy Wednesday, everyone. And Daniel, I love the drama too, but more importantly, I love all the seeds that you plant in our city. It is such a pleasure to read you and to learn about your accomplishments. Thank you very much. Let's see what else. Fried? Why do I think that was supposed to be Fred and not fried? I'm going to go with Fred. Fred recommended the Palmares Beach restaurant we hope to visit soon. My Larsito, my Lars has also, Lars is everybody's Lars, but he also happens to be my Lars. My Lars recommended that restaurant as well. We've been talking about going, but it hasn't happened. Let's see. Barbara. Yes, I will see you at opening night for Dangerous When Wet. I look forward to seeing you there. It should be a lot of fun. And I agree with you, Angelica. I love comida corrida because it is real Mexican and real cheap. And speak of the devil, here is my Lars and everybody else's Lars. It was Lars who actually introduced me to Rosa Mexicano last summer. So gracias, Larsito. It's great. It is just wonderful. I love it. Lee Stivers says, and I was wondering where I would go for lunch today. Well, Lee, if you are in the Versalles vicinity, I totally recommend Rosa Mexicano. And speaking of, one of these days we should do a deep dive on Mexican pink, Rosa Mexicano, because it is a very specific hue of pink. And there's a whole story behind how it was introduced, how it was promoted to represent Mexico, and how it ended up all over the place in the Barbie movie. Not a coincidence, or maybe a coincidence, but Barbie loves Mexican pink. Let's see. El Campanario has fixed price lunches as well. It says Sherry, and El Campanario is another great comida corrida place located right across the street from the Guadalupe Church. Thank you for that. Pum 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 doo. We have heard very good things about Mariscos what? Botete on the backside of Walmart near Pitillal. I'm intrigued. And Barbara writes comida corrida. Maybe I can get Carmen to talk to me. Oh, there's a lot of Carmen comments here. See, Carmen, everybody loves you. And I love you. Look at that. We must get together, or maybe we should go to comida corrida places together. And look at you. Carmen says, yes, I would love that. Talk about Mexican food. Yay, hidden true Mexican eateries. Let's do it, Carmen. Let's make it happen. And look at this. Barbara says Carmen. Karen says Carmen. I love it. I just got really hungry all of a sudden. And Judy Bush says Carmen. Well, as long as we're all saying Carmen, you can't go wrong with anything produced at Oculto, which is Carmen's project, her culinary project. Whether you're going to a public dinner at Oculto or whether you schedule your own group, you can be guaranteed authentic Mexican cuisine, carefully and beautifully prepared by Carmen and her wonderful staff, who will pamper you to the nines. So give that a go. And if you're on a budget, definitely give a comida corrida place a go. And with that said, let us wrap things up. It is past 11, which means there was a lot of content today. I'm happy for that. And I look forward to maybe bumping into you this afternoon as we are taping interviews at the Joint Boutique Hotel and Co-work. Again, we're just taping. We're not broadcasting this afternoon, but we'll be there if you care to stop by and say hello. And if not, I'll see you again tomorrow morning for more coffee and headlines. Have a good day.